Okay, so first of all, welcome to this introduction of Now Accelerator. We have a lot to share, so I'm going to go quickly. The main purpose of this event is to inform you about Norwegian Offshore Wind, which I'm honored to have a big part of the team here. Our CEO is going to speak after this. We're going to go deep dive into the Now Accelerator program. So we're going to introduce to you our partners, and we're also going to, through this, start the invitation to invite startups, scale-ups to apply for our program that initiates January 2024. First of all, I just want to give a big thanks to our industry partners that is supporting the accelerator. That includes Hafslund, Fred Olsen, Ørsted, Deep Wind Offshore, EDF, Subsea 7, Equinor, Sequest, Vattenfall, and Å Energi. And I am very, very happy that all the people that is participating, they have been, really following up. I know that I've been turning around this program quite fast. So I really appreciate everything that you guys have done supporting me. So straight to the agenda. First is going to be an introduction from our CEO, Arvid Nesse. He's going to talk about Norwegian Offshore Wind and what we do there, together with Monica Bornsen, that's going to talk about our test center, the MET Center. And after that, we're going to have a lovely speech from Caroline Whittle, that's going to talk about our big event in May, Floating Wind Days. After that, I'm going to talk about the program and go through all the parts of what we're going to do for 2024 and the main purpose of this program. And then we're going to have some of our innovation partners. You're going to hear from Vasuko, that is basically helping us with a really good network, very good program for running challenges. Then you're going to hear from Alan in PA Consulting, how they're going to support us with insights and what's going on within innovation. Then you have also, I think it's Caroline, and Anton's going to talk from Plug and Play, one of the biggest accelerators in the world. And then after that, you're going to get an introduction from each and every industry partners. They're going to present themselves, a little bit about the company, and you're going to get some really good insights of what kind of companies is supporting this program and how they can eventually help giving the insights on what they want to focus on. And at the end, I'm just going to say a little bit about the activities and how to sign up. So that's the program. First, we're going to see if this works. It's going to be a video of Norwegian Offshore Wind before I will hand over to Arvid, our CEO.
A new industry is being born. An industry already facing questions and skepticism. An industry with incredible challenges to solve, but also boundless opportunities to realize. If we get it right. How do you find the talent to build an entirely new industry? The doors and windows of new possibilities are being opened in local communities all over the world. To realise the potential of floating wind, a few key factors will be crucial. You embrace diversity and combine that with a mindset of constant improvement, quick decisions, flat hierarchies, and determination to make difficult things work. These fjords are home to countless producers who for decades have innovated solutions for the oil and gas industry. The deep fjords of Norway provide natural means of transportation along the coastline, itself one of the longest and windiest in the world. Sheltered bays and ports offer plenty of space for industrial development, mere miles from the open ocean. Now, together with fresh innovators, they are turning their expertise to harvesting the potential of offshore wind. The magic that's unleashed when we work together for the common good, bring prosperity to the many. We have these things. We can get it right. Let us begin.
Now I'm going to leave the word to Arvid Nesse. Over to you, Arvid.
Thank you, Narve. And I'm just going to have an introduction about Norwegian Offshore Wind. Yeah, you can go to the next slide, Narve. Norwegian Offshore Wind now is in a combination of several business units. We have we can see we have the major brand, Norwegian Offshore Wind, but the former name of the company is Marine Energy Test Center AS, because it all started with a test center. But now we have several business areas. We have the cluster, 392 members from all over the supply chain. We have the test center, world-leading test center for floating offshore wind. And now we are kicking off this accelerator, and which will work very well in combination with the test center, the cluster, and floating wind days, and also our international activities. And then we have the floating wind days, our main international event for floating wind. And then the last element here is the Visit Now, which is our international activities. And we see that now Accelerator will work together with all these other areas and make added value. Next slide. We have 392 members from all over the supply chain, all over Norway, and also more and more international members. And I think we cover all the supply chain. Next. This is our team. We are 14 people in our team to lead both all these activities, both in the cluster, the test center, the accelerator, and floating wind days. Next. So we have a vision to develop world-leading supply chains within offshore wind. We see that with this basis, we are able to take leading positions in offshore wind, and we have a special focus on floating offshore wind, because we see that floating offshore wind is starting now, and it's for companies and startups. There's a possibility to be joining this industry from the starting point of floating. Next. And we have 3 strategic areas we are now working in. It's the markets to assist our companies, member companies into the market, both Norway and international. Then we have innovation. There is a very high need now to reduce cost in both offshore wind and floating offshore wind. And I think doing innovation, new ideas, will contribute to this. And the last one is to form the supply chains, bring collaboration between companies in the cluster, to get the right competency into these companies. Next. So Norway has a goal of 30 gigawatt by 2040. That's an ambitious goal. It will be about 2,000 offshore wind turbines. Next. And what we are doing is to develop the supply chain, bringing people together, organize workshops, conference, meeting arenas, and where people meet. And also for the startups, it's important now to also meet the possible customers, and we have these meeting places. Next. And also for Norwegian, we see that producing, especially floating offshore wind, we have a lot of ports and available production sites along the Norwegian coast. And we see that this is also a strong value here. Next. Next. And going into the market, we are organizing market visits. Both we have now what we call Boost Camp in Norway, bringing people together about the Norwegian market, but we also have international market visits. Next. And these are the markets we are focusing on now at the moment. It's some of the faraway markets: Japan, South Korea, United States, and but the rest of them they are all floating. But the rest of the markets are in Europe, and they are both for bottom fixed and floating. But these are the markets so we are focusing on. We have activities in all these markets, and we have connection points. So for startups, we see that there are possibilities in these markets. Next. Yes, and that concludes my presentation now. And I give the word to my colleague Monica to tell more about Met Center.
You see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So yes, my name is Monica. I'm a project manager at the Met Center, or the Marine Energy Test Center. And as Arvid mentioned, we are the same organization as Norwegian Offshore Wind. And we aim to connect our cluster members to the projects that we have at our test site. So right here you can see the Tetraspar demonstrator in the front of the picture, while Zephyrus, or the former Hywind demo, is in the background there. The Hywind demo was actually the start of Met Center, as the test center was established already in 2009 when Equinor, or Statoil at that time, installed the Hywind demo as the first world full-scale floating wind turbine. So this picture is taken on a very nice day at our main test site. It's 10 kilometers west of Karmøy. It's normally quite harsh conditions out here, but that is also a reason why the site is recognized worldwide. Because if the technology can make it there, it can probably make it anywhere. Okay, so the test site concept. As Arvid mentioned, we have a vision to develop a world-leading supply chain within the floating wind. So that makes the test site quite important. The concept is that we offer location and infrastructure for testing within floating renewable energy. And we know that as of the time being, floating wind is the most relevant. By doing this, companies can come to our test center and test their technology with their full-scale demonstrators. And this way they can gain experience and create a reference project for the future, and also contribute to building a new industry. We did a mapping, I think it's 1.5 years ago or so, and this market changes all the time. But at that time we found that there were 83 different technologies being developed. And there are others claiming that there are more than 100 technologies, but also many believe that they have the best concept. So we believe that the best way to figure this out is by testing. And this is kind of highlighting the need for test sites worldwide. And as there are not many test locations, we experience that people are contacting us every week to see if we have any available slots for testing of their technology. So this is just an overview of our main locations and test projects that we are currently working on. For the test site outside Karmøy, as I mentioned briefly, we have 2 operating turbines. That's the Zephyrus since 2009, and the Tetraspa was installed in 2021. And we also have 5 upcoming projects at this site, and also a quite large infrastructure project going on here that will be finished in 2026, and then we will be ready to welcome these 5 new test projects to connect to the grid and to be able to transmit the produced power to shore. So this is when this is done, we will have 7 operating turbines at this site. We are also working with a couple of other locations. We have a location at Bukken where the Seatwell will be installed maybe late next year or the year after. Not quite sure of that as of now. But that's a vertical axis turbine, so that will be interesting to see how that works. And we also have an ongoing process for a concession outside Eigerøy, where we will install Flex to Power, which is the combination project of wind, solar, and waves. So that will also be interesting to see. For you, it's important to mention that in addition to testing such demonstrator projects, we also want to facilitate for others or third parties to provide their technologies and services to our test sites. And this is also stated in our concession and described in our contracts with the demonstrator owners. Where of course our members comes first in line and have an advantage to connect to both the site and the project. One example is that we have installed a camera from the company Spor, which is a Norwegian company. And this project can help us increase knowledge on the environmental impact by recording birds flying around the turbines. We have them over here. This is not supposed to have sound, so here you can see that it records the birds, and of course the recording doesn't solve any problems itself, but we can use this knowledge to learn how the birds behave around the turbines, and to see if we need to take any action to prevent hits. Yeah, that was it from me, Nave.
Thank you so much, Monica. You're much more professional than me. Let's move over to our lovely Caroline. You will present Floating Wind Days, right? Do you have access to present, Caroline?
I do, I think so. So I'm going to see if I can take over the screen now. This, you can see my screen,
yes.
if that's working.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Really good to meet you all digitally. My name's Caroline Whittle, and I'm a business development manager, and I have the the honour to be the project leader for our flagship international event, Floating Wind Days. And now I'm going to show a film, and I'm just hoping that the sounds are going to work on this one. So here's just a very short film to give you a bit of a taster as to what Floating Wind Days is all about. There we are. Floating Wind Days, the concept of Floating Wind Days is all about leaning forward, thinking forward, and driving the international floating wind industry forward. And as we write here, we do aim for this event to be a unique experience. We actually think of it more as a festival than a conference. And we've been very focused on being quite disruptive in the way in which we've put the festival together, and we're trying to aim for it to be an environment, create an environment where networking is at the core and that it's the place where deals get done. So our ambition is, as Arvid says here, is actually to be the most important event internationally for the floating wind industry. This picture here is from the main stage from this year's event. We were very happily sold out quite a few days before the event started, and we welcomed over 700 delegates from over 20 countries from around the world. And the guests attending, if you're wondering who is the typical attendee at Floating Wind Days, it's everything from the large developers, the whole of the supply chain is represented, and also we are very pleased to cover the complete spectrum of all the technical and commercial roles, all the people you want to meet from the industry. And also right from the big developers and right down to startups. We had a number of startup tickets and delegates from startup companies at this year's event. And for next year's event, in 2024, we're gearing up to welcoming 1,000 guests, and we're also building a very special focus on startups and our Accelerator program, which is the main reason, I guess, that Narva asked me to come and talk to you today. As you probably saw from the pictures, this year's event was actually opened by the Norwegian Prime Minister, and we had keynote speeches from high-level political and industrial leaders. And we've got big names lined up for next year, but I can't tell you who they are just at the minute. This picture here is a little bit of an overview of our town, Haugesund, and where the Floating Wind Days Festival happens. We use the main conference hotel, but we actually build up a hub. We use an awful lot of the buildings around. And this picture, you don't see it when it's rigged up for the festival, because we really do dress it up and we sort of take over the town. In fact, Arendalsuka, if you're familiar with that festival in Norway, or even Davos, is a bit of an inspiration for us. Haugesund is such a small town that we're able to take it over, and you're able to sort of bump into people from the international floating wind industry all over town, whether you're walking through the main street, going on the quayside. But Floating Wind Days, it's a 2-day event. It opens on the main stage session, and then we have breakout sessions in these buildings around in the hub. They're covering the key issues facing the industry. Now, as I mentioned, next year we're having a big focus on startups, and it's just off the picture here, but the main theatre in Haugesund is now going to be dedicated to our startup and accelerator program, and we're going to make it into the powerhouse area for startups and supporting companies. So in that particular area, there's going to be a very big networking area, and we use an app at Floating Wind Days, making it very easy for investors and developers to hook up with each other and with these startup companies. And another key element of the powerhouse startup accelerator program at Floating Wind Days is that we host a big pitching competition. So the startup companies are able to go on the main stage at the theatre, and the winner of the pitching competition will then be presented on the main stage in front of all the delegates. There's also a big social program planned for the startup program, so there's an awful lot to look forward to there. Also, there's not many events that you might attend, normal conferences, that will take you out on a boat to actually meet and actually go and see the floating turbines at our Met Centre. But you get to do that at Floating Wind Days. And this year we took over 500 people out on boats to go and see the turbines up close. So absolutely the perfect place for doing your selfies and so on. This few of the pictures as to what the environment with Floating Wind Days is. It's not the usual congress hotel in terms of standard stages and so on. We do have very much a different festival feel to the whole of the experience. And basically, for Floating Wind Days, we want you to go into floatingwinddays.com. We will be launching the tickets for Floating Wind Days in January, and we have a limited amount of tickets, especially for startups. We have approximately around 100 tickets with a 50% discount, and it is a first come, first serve. So really, this is my sales pitch here. Make a note of floatingwinddays.com and be sure to be first in the queue to secure your ticket. So we hope to see you in Haugesund at the end of May next year. Thank you. That was me done.
Yes, thank you so much. I have technical problems. I'm a rookie compared to you guys. So perfect, Caroline, thank you so much about that presentation. We'll make sure to, we will share many of these presentations, and obviously also if we get a clearance on the video, we'll share that as well. Okay, so now I'm going to go over to present the program, what we're going to do with the Accelerator introduction. So just a second, I'm going to make sure I do it right. I think I need some help here. There we go. Are you guys seeing the screen? Yeah. Okay, so what I usually show is this is our main problem. I've been both on startup side, working many years as a startup myself, and I've also been working many years as a corporate within innovation and product development. The biggest issue for many of the startups is they have some really good ideas, but they don't find the right time or the right person in the corporate companies to pitch their idea and to get their attention. Usually the corporates are too busy running their own business, and many times they see a lot of potential, but they don't have the resources or the right people to help these startups or to see how this can become a good business together. So that's the main reason why we want to set this up. We want to help communication. We want to help these startups to get up to the right level. We want to make sure they meet the right people, and we want to make sure that they can get support either by funding, investors, or to be at the right place at the right time. So the vision for the Accelerator, and you guys heard the presentation about our Met Center, the test center. So the vision here is to become the leading innovation and test center for offshore wind. And our mission to do that is creating the most connected ecosystem between startups and scale-ups that we are today starting to invite into this program to connect and to understand the biggest pain points and needs from our biggest industry partners within offshore wind. And my personal goal to deliver this is, first of all, to facilitate challenges that is run by our industry partners. Our industry partners will, together with us, define key pain problems or opportunities that we will put into a platform which you're going to hear later on, which is called Vasuku, where you can find the insights, the main points on what they want to solve, where you can, as a startup, registrate and participate and have the possibility of pitching your ideas to the best industry partners. And apart from that, my KPIs is also to connect collaborations between startups and scale-ups to the industry partners or the whole supply chain. So that's the key focus. When it comes to the Accelerator program, it's a little bit different than a typical setup where you just select some few companies, put them into a short program of maybe 3 to 4 months, and then you end up finishing that. This is a whole year program where we incubate companies, we invite them in, we help them look at what they need and support them with all the facilities that we have together with our industry partners and together with innovation partners. Then we do challenges where we're finding the right companies that could go to the next level, which is the green area here, is to actually come up with some really good pilot cases and test cases that we can run on the Met Center when that is a possibility. So that's a key focus. Let's see. The 6th reason why you should join as a startup or scale up. Number one is understanding the pain points that the industry leaders want to solve and pitch to key stakeholders. We have really strong industry players with the right people that will help us understand this, and we will make sure that you have the possibility of connecting with them. Number 2 is the business network. As you heard already, we have close to 400 suppliers into our cluster. We have top global startups, international offshore wind experts all together. So the network, not just in Norway, but also connected to the other clusters, we are building the bridges together with them, and we also build bridges together with other accelerators internationally. As you see here, we are already started the conversation on how to do different activities together with the Cove, and the same thing with big companies like Plug and Play that you will actually hear about later on today as well. The third point, okay, my computer does not want to change. Here you go. The third benefit is the insights and the testing opportunities. We will get, we run reports, we have news, we have LinkedIn, we have a lot of resources that we send out to all our members, and we will facilitate that obviously as well to our startups and scale-ups. And as I said, the testing opportunities, we are also focusing on looking at how we can make a setup where you can have a sandbox, finding out what kind of data is available and what kind of data that you should focus on as well to offer to the industry. The fourth benefit is the innovation partners that will help you and your business to improve your business proposal. Because what we see from many of the startups is that they end up maybe having a super good product, but when it comes to their way of pitching it, their way of making it very clear on how to offer a value, a proposal, a concrete setup for an investor or for one of the industry partners, many of them are missing some of that, and that we want to help you with. The other is, like we said, on the investment side. So we also look at how we can connect to the right players that has, the understanding of the market, and also focus on different areas where you can actually come up with something that will help them see the potential. So we will connect you with these type of players that are either helping you with the soft funding, or that would be willing to invest into a potential test pilot or a project, or getting a potential deal flow because they think you have the huge potential internationally. And the sixth point that I want to mention is also the events that you just heard from Caroline. We're going to run a lot of events, and we have two main events that we want to really showcase over startups and scale-ups. One is in the cluster meeting, which is not going to be this year because it's too early, but it's going to be the next cluster meeting 2025. And like Caroline mentioned, the floating wind days is also going to be the perfect place to pitch and also to showcase the good solutions that we managed to get together on collaboration between the industry partners and the startups. And of course, we also look at exchange programs where startups can go to other countries and meet the right type of companies and industry partners in the different locations. And also we have international delegations that visit us in Haugesund, that we can also connect the right type of companies from France, from the United States, and so on. And we also have events together with our partners. So this is a place where you will find all the right events for offshore wind sector. When it comes to the program, we have, first of all, like I mentioned, we have an open application and acceptance process. So that means that any company that wants to focus now and start focusing on this program, they can enter anytime. We will provide support to improve the business all the year. We will have sessions running all the year to support your companies. And then we will also run challenges all year. So you can participate in challenges that might be the perfect fit for your company to showcase your idea. And then apart from that, we have events, networking, and matchmaking all year. And then, like I mentioned, two big events where we have the possibility of a demo day with a potential also investments, where we get investors to be part of those events. When it comes to communication and collaboration, we have set up one web page that is in progress. Is now accelerator.com, where we'll link up the challenges together with Wasuku that you're going to hear shortly. And we also actually wanted to set this meeting today up on a digital arena. And unfortunately, we did not manage to do that because it was too many presenters and it was too complicated, but we actually have that up and running. So next year, all the startups and our partners will be able to use that space for workshops, to connect one-to-one, or to connect 1 to up to 17 people in workshops. So that's going to be an arena where everybody will have access that is participating in this Accelerator program. So here, just an example. I'm not going to show you now because I think my laptop is going to stop, but I will also send the link when everything is done and ready, so you can all participate in this arena. When it comes to how to join, so this is my last slide. We want you to go to our website, nowaccelerator.com or Norwegian Offshore Wind, and you will find about the program. You can there apply, go in and fill out the form. When we get that application, we will, together in administration, look at the registration. The most important is that it's a relevance to the industry. Obviously, we want to find the right companies that has the scalability, viability, and innovation, but those are also factors that we want to help them with to improve. So that's part of the process. When you get accepted, you also have to become a member of Norwegian Offshore Wind, the cluster, and you will get access to all our facilities.